Hello, family of God. It was wonderful seeing many of you last weekend. First, for our Day for Hope last Saturday, where we shared the love of Christ and served 165 children and their families through a very well-organized and safe drive-through. And then an added bonus was seeing so many of you on Sunday afternoon at our Christmas in July drive-through. Thanks so much for coming, those of you that were able to be here. And by the way, speaking of last Sunday, if you haven't had a chance to watch our worship service from July 26th, I'd encourage you to go back and listen to my message about our one true hope during these times when our spirits are bound to be weary. I wanted to give a word of encouragement to those of you who are out of town and maybe hearing on the news about the rise of COVID cases in Florida. The infections have been far most prevalent in other areas of the state, particularly Miami and southeastern Florida. And as of this week, Sarasota County only has 1% of all of the COVID cases in Florida and less than 0.02% of all the deaths attributed to the coronavirus. And if you look at a map of the zip codes Venice, Nokomis, and the areas in the southern end of Sarasota County, we have an even smaller rate of new infections. And we're very thankful that from all we know, the members of our congregation who are living here locally have remained free from this infection. While many of our senior living communities remain locked down and hospital visitation is restricted, restaurants are open, businesses are open, and most people are practicing safe social distancing as they go out to eat, as they go shopping, as they get together with friends. All of the city parks and beaches in Venice are open, including the South Jetties and the Venice Pier. And many churches in the Venice community have resumed in-person worship services, some since early June, with apparently no reported cases of COVID from those I've talked to. Now, of course, there's no playbook for how to lead a church or an organization during a time of coronavirus. Our church's session has been meeting regularly since March, discerning God's will together about how best to provide for the ministry and mission of our congregation and community. Thank you for letting us know through the survey several weeks ago how you are feeling. As you can imagine, we received responses indicating a wide variety of comfort levels. We recognize there are many in our church congregation who fit into that category of most vulnerable to this illness. And we also realize that there are many in our church family who are lonely and who may be longing for the lifeline that in-person worship done safely could provide. We're grateful we have been able to remain connected through technology. Of course, we were live streaming our worship services and posting them on our YouTube channel before the pandemic. And we will continue offering online worship each Sunday at 10 a.m. and then posting each service on YouTube. But for those of you who feel comfortable coming back to in-person worship, the session has decided to begin with safety precautions in place, in-person worship starting Sunday, August 16. Now, we'll be sending out more information, and I wanted to describe just briefly with you today some of the ways that we will be trying to create as safe an environment as possible for those of you who do choose to come. There'll be one Sunday worship service at 10 a.m., and we'll be asking you to make reservations And we'll be giving you details on how that will all be worked out in the days to come. But we'll be asking for reservations just so that we have some idea of how many are coming so that we can promote safe social distancing. For everyone's safety, temperatures will be taken with a quick forehead scan as people enter the church. Again, that's just for everyone's safety and sense of security. Social distancing will be required, but families, of course, will be allowed to sit together in the sanctuary. The pews where people can sit will be spaced out so that there's at least 6 feet or more between people who aren't in immediate families. Masks will be available in the narthex if you don't have one, and the wearing of face masks will be strongly encouraged. We're a family in Christ, and we trust one another to do our part to keep safe social distance. So we're not requiring masks. But we would ask that you wear face masks if you're going to be within 6 to 10 feet of anyone outside your immediate family. For the foreseeable future, the choir will not be leading us in worship, but because we'll be socially distanced in a large space with high ceilings, we will be offering congregational singing for those who want to. Singing is a vital and important part of Christian worship. We will not be serving any coffee or refreshments in the glass house, and of course there'll be no handshaking, and we will have plenty of hand sanitizer available. Again, we'll be sending out more details in the days and weeks leading up to August 16, and we'll be using these midweek chats to prepare you for what to expect when you come back. Now, some of you may say, I'm not sure I want to come back if I have to do all those things. Others may be thinking, this is too soon. It's too risky to even be inviting people to come together to worship. Well, again, there's no playbook for how to lead during the coronavirus. And the session and all of us are just trying to be as faithful to God as possible. It's been over 5 months between the last time we worshiped together, March 8, and when we reopened on August 16. And we just feel it's important that if we can do it safely, we need to allow one another to exercise our freedom to worship with others in the family of God. The session is simply offering a safe, reasonable opportunity for people who want to worship God in person with others. Of course, the decision when to attend church is something each of us has to decide. And even with all the precautions that we're taking, we know some will feel uncomfortable attending again for some time. That's okay. We understand, we respect that decision, and we will continue to realize that our worshiping congregation includes many people who are out there online. And as always, we do ask that anyone who may be feeling sick or who may be caring for someone who is sick or who might have a compromised immune system or who is otherwise at high risk to stay home and to worship with us online. Remember, God is worshiped wherever we are if we have a heart of worship. And we're hopeful that our approach to reopening will be pleasing to God and will best meet the spiritual needs and the physical safety of our faith community. I'm looking forward to August 16 and to this new chapter of our life together as a church. We do not know all that God has planned for the future, but we do know that God will continue to guide us and protect us as we walk with Him. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your continued support of our church's ministry and mission. And I invite us, again, just to recall those Bible verses for this year 2020. Philippians 4:4-7. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again. Rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. the Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, with prayer and petition, thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God that transcends all understanding will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. God be with you till we meet again.